And he used what is known as the metaphor of the wall. And actually, he probably got this metaphor of the wall from Roger Williams long before him, but he didn't give him credit if he did. Notice what he had to say to the Danbury Baptists. Believing with you that religion is a matter which lies solely between man and his God, that he owes account to none other for his faith or his worship, that the legitimate powers of government reach actions only and not opinions. I contemplate with sovereign reverence that act of the whole American people, which declared that their legislature should make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, thus building a wall of separation between church and state. You know what? I think Thomas Jefferson knew much better what the First Amendment to the Constitution meant than the Christian revisionists who want to rewrite it and reinterpret it today. Because he was nearer to the event and he actually participated in it. By the way, do you know that the third clause of the First Amendment to the Constitution has to do with civil rights? Isn't it interesting that in the First Amendment you have these two things? The first two clauses deal with religious freedom, and the last part of the First Amendment deals with civil liberty. Thus encased, folks, within the First Amendment to the Constitution, one of the founding documents of the United States, you have this idea of two kingdoms. In the Declaration of Independence, in the Constitution, and in the Bill of Rights, you have this idea of separation of church and state. You know, the third clause, having to do with civil liberty, guarantees freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of assembly, and freedom to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Let me ask you, are those civil rights? Yes. And so in the First Amendment, you have religious rights and you have civil rights contained within the same amendment. So what is it that is going to happen according to Bible prophecy? According to Bible prophecy, this beast that arose from the earth, that at first sustained the idea that this is one nation having two kingdoms separate from one another, church and state, where you could be actually a citizen of both within the same country, where Congress could make no law respecting an establishment of religion, nor forbidding the free exercise of religion. Prophecy tells us that this nation is going to repudiate those principles, because we're told in Revelation 13 that this beast had two horns like a lamb, which we've clearly identified as these two kingdoms, which represent the church and the state, and the derived ideas of freedom of religion and also civil freedom. What's going to happen is this country is going to repudiate these two principles, and it is going to speak like a dragon.